Hey, everybody, and welcome. It is April 16th. We are glad you are joining us for another episode of our live with Cody and Matt. Of course, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, also on our website, thecomicast.com live, and lots of stuff on our website. Matt, it's Friday. How are you? I believe you and David were getting the second dose of the vaccine, right?
Yes, we did earlier today. We came home, went to sleep, not because of the vaccine. My arm's a little sore. I got it in the shoulder, which is the same place I got shot number one. But it's been fine. Hi, Chris. Thanks for joining us.
That's good. Yes,
So
hi.
the problem was I added a complication to myself. So you can have a good laugh about this. So I learned today because I was not told what my dosage was going to be for the Adderall because I was switched off Strattera. I went off of all my meds for 2 weeks to let myself clear, and then I started the Adderall yesterday. And my doctor is very aware. It's the first time I've ever taken it. So he just prescribes it, says you're just going to take it once a day, no problem, move on with your life. Sweet. So I picked it up from the pharmacy, and they're like, do you have any questions for the pharmacist? Absolutely not. My doctor said once a day, and she's like, that's right, no problem, off you go. Yeah, so I didn't normally I take my meds every day between 10 and 11, like almost clockwork. Well, yesterday I just happened to not because I have another med I have to take. And around 2, the other one is not impacted as long as I take it within a rolling 24-hour period. Who cares? Well, this apparently is the second highest dose of Adderall you can get, which I didn't know, and it's the extended release because, I mean, I'm not a big guy. I am about 160.
Yeah.
So I just saw Salem skip by. So I took it at 2:00 yesterday. So what happens is the first part of it made me awake and focused, which Cody experienced yesterday when we recorded like 3 episodes worth of everything.
There's a lot of content.
You had a very exciting afternoon with me. And then what happens for the extended release is a bit later. The next part of it comes out, and then that lasts another 4 to 5 hours, and you shouldn't have any caffeine or anything. I almost never drink soda, but we had gotten food, and I didn't feel like another bottle of water because I drink tons of water. So I just drank. We buy when we do buy soda, we buy like the baby cans once in a while, usually for mixing stuff. And so I almost never drink soda, like literally once every few months. And even then, it's a baby can. Well, I had drank that one, and I was like, well, David didn't want his, and I didn't feel like walking back down the stairs. So I drank the second one. So at 4:00 this morning when I laid down, and I'm like, I am not tired. What is wrong with me? So I was up. You can see my Twitter activity. I was wide awake. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, my alarm goes off. David's alarm goes off. And then
I know you had told me you were gonna.
Store.
You told me you were gonna go to sleep, and then I get a text message then saying that you hadn't gone to sleep, and I was like, "Whoa, wait, what?"
And you're like, oh, yeah. So we went and got our second shot. It was way less of a problem this time. So in Texas, everything's opened up to everybody. So it was the exact same pharmacy. It was at a CVS. We went in. They checked us in, showed them the first card. They confirmed, addresses and all that. And we went and stood in line. And there was a pharmacist and a nurse. And that pharmacist, I mean, he might as well have stood where he was and just shot a blow dart into each person in line and said next. I mean, he was
oh goodness.
Yeah, it was quick. It was over, done, and I was so hungry though because now that I was off all the meds, my appetite was suppressed for 5 months. Now it's not. So we stopped at Starbucks and got a snack, and his was the fastest thing on the way home, and I just got a drink, and we got home and I ate that, and I was still awake. This is now 11:45 noon. Finally at 1, I was tired enough, and then I crashed from 1 to 3:15, which is about when I texted you later. I said, okay. So I'm actually still fairly awake, and so I did not take my meds today. I took the one I have to take, but not the Adderall. So I'm setting an alarm, and I'm going to get up at 6 a.m. tomorrow and take it. And upon advice from other mutuals and friends that have had to take it in the past, they say, like, get up early and take it, and you won't be groggy in the morning, and then you won't be up all night. I'm like, oh my God, this is terrible. Because this happened with the Strattera too, because they said, oh, well, you can take it at morning or night, it doesn't matter. Wrong. I was gay wrong. I was up when that. I don't know if you remember that night too, but I was up literally the entire night. Like, come on.
I mean, for me, it kind of runs
So
together because like usually you're up a lot anyway late at night, and then I go to sleep and like you were still awake, or you're going to bed around that same time. So it just kind of is like it
yeah,
is.
my sleep schedule has been messed up since the storms here when we couldn't sleep because we were having to get up every few hours to charge everything and make sure nothing was going to hell. But
Yeah.
ever since then, I haven't been able to get it right again, and this has not helped. And then, of course, on the Stratera, I was literally asleep constant. All I wanted to do was sleep. So I'd get up, work for a few hours, go right back to sleep for a few hours, and I'm sure so many people just thought I was just. Every time I would get a text, "What are you doing, Matt?" "Oh, I'm taking a nap," or "I just woke up," or. But anyway,
Yeah.
that has been our adventure for the day. But
Well,
yes, no
that's
side effects
good.
other than a sore arm, and I will keep you posted.
Well, that's good. Justin got his on Wednesday, and he is having some side effects. A
Yeah, I
little bit
heard.
of dizziness, headaches. Was having chills. I think the chills have gone away. Earache, jaw pain. Called the doctor because he was like to do an e-visit real quick to just check on the ear because you never know, is it the vaccine or do you actually happen to have had the perfect storm and have an earache. And so they
Yeah,
were
some
like, he
people. I
was
mean,
lucky
people
enough
don't
to.
understand they can be exposed to stuff before they get a vaccine.
Yeah, he was lucky enough when we were trying to set up the visit that they just let him talk to a doctor right then, which is like really rare. um and so he was able to, and she was like, yeah, is the ear on the same side as the side that you got the shot that's hurting? And he was like, yeah. And she was like, yeah. So we are seeing sometimes it's just inflammation from the vaccine, and it just happens to be inflammation in this area. And so it's going to cause that ear pain. So she's like, if it continues on until Sunday, etc., maybe come in and let's get, or call again, let's get some meds just to be safe, because the inflammation then can cause you to actually get an earache,
Yeah,
and that's not what you want. But other than that, again, I don't want to scare people. Get the vaccine,
yeah. Get the
because
vaccine.
maybe you're going to be like Matt. I always do
Yeah,
this, and you
yeah.
won't have
I'll never
as
get it.
many. uh,
Do you ever feel
I
like we're like some kind of like messed up Brady Bunch, and it's like, yeah.
I mean, when we get a lot of people, maybe one day.
Oh God.
Be sure, obviously, if you're watching this now or if you're watching the replay, share this with your friends, tweet it out, Facebook it, wherever you want to post it up so that other people can listen to us,
Speaking of,
and
I need to do that.
hear the show, because we always want as many people as possible to join us, because we like the community that we are building here, and we want to keep adding more and more people because that's so fun. I always give Matt a list of things that I want that we're going to talk about, kind of just like a general outline of things. One of the things I did not put on the list, but I've been telling him about it and I haven't got to talk about it because I always kept forgetting, but I remembered right before we came on. And so Disneyland has been closed. They actually 2 days ago, yesterday, they opened it up for you to buy tickets, and some people waited online for like 4 or 5, 6 hours because they put you like in a waiting line online, and to get tickets for opening day at the end of the month, and also for opening of Avengers area in June. But they have a new food item, and this is what I wanted to talk about because it is something that is buzzworthy. It's been on Good Morning America, Today's Show, but Disney always has fun, unique food items sometimes, and this one is an item. It is a new fried pickle stuffed corn dog with a side of peanut butter. So as you see, the hot dog wiener is inside of a pickle that is
You
inside
really
of
want?
the corn dog, and you dip it in peanut butter for some reason. I don't know. I don't really know why
No, I
that,
was
but
just kind of surprised you went ahead and said wiener. It's just funny.
I mean, it is what it is, right? I
No,
think because
it's just your
sometimes
accent. It's so damn cute.
I think sometimes people dip pickles in peanut butter. And so I really want to try this though, because I always try fun things like this. It could be really gross, or it might just be interestingly good. I'm not sure
It's
which it
probably
is.
weirdly good.
I mean,
Disney doesn't have very many misses for when they do weird stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Weird combinations sometimes can be like so good. And because people don't think about putting it together, but when you do, it's like magic.
like, okay, the one that I do like is Frosties and French fries, and I don't know why. I haven't
Oh,
eaten
that's a
it in
good
like
one.
15 years.
Oh,
Yeah,
and
so
did you
apparently I didn't know
hear?
that was a thing. A friend of my mom's took us out for Frosties and French fries, and I'm like, that's disgusting. And she's like, you have to try it. And I was like, I'm not trying that swill. And she was like, you should try it. And of course, I was persuaded, and I was like, this is not bad. I can count
Uh,
on one hand how many times I've ever decided to eat it. Because even now talking about it, I'm like, no, I would not do that to myself. But it's in front of me. I'm like, well,
um, Chris is saying,
I think it looks
"Ew."
gross, honestly.
I'll keep you updated. It's gonna be a while before I go, but I might can go get it. I think they have it at Downtown Disney, and so I don't have to like go into the parks. We'll see what
Aren't they?
happens.
Isn't it Disney Springs now, or is it still Downtown Disney in
So
California?
Downtown Disney in California, it is Disney Springs in Orlando, and oh my god, it's so beautiful and amazing, and I love it so much. It's
I
really
actually got to
cute.
see it in 2017, and it was so weird because I hadn't seen it since 2010. I moved away the month before Harry Potter Land opened, or
Hmm.
the Wizarding World opened. So I never saw it, and I didn't get to see it while I was back there either, which I really did want to see. But
I can't wait to go there with you because it's gonna be so fun. I
is this
because
gonna
I
be
love it
our? Is
all.
that gonna
I'm
be
like
our
a geek.
ComaCast trip? I think it should be our
I think it
ComaCast
should
trip. I
be.
like it.
I love.
That'll
I'm.
be our company vacation. Oh,
I
I love
mean,
that idea. Can we
you're
write that
gonna see
off?
like so we go to Universal Studios. I have my wand, and it's a magic wand. It does things. I'll have to have my robe. Like I do the whole thing. I'm just a dork. But yeah.
That's
Some sad news though from Harry Potter though actually.
yes,
Um, the woman who played the mother of Draco Malfoy in their Harry Potter film series, Helen McCrory. This is her with her husband, and her husband is Damian Lewis. If you ever watch Homeland or Billions, two shows that he's in, he's an amazing actor. I did not know that they were together. I always feel like I'm surprised with like these British actresses or actors, like because we don't see a lot of them a lot of times over here in America. We just see them on TV.
right.
Or a lot of people from Harry Potter. You're like, oh, they're married to them? What?
Yeah,
But some
it
sad
really comes
news.
as a surprise.
Yeah, some sad news though. She passed away. He wrote on his Twitter that she died peacefully at home after a heroic battle with cancer. And she did pass away at age 52, so very young. But I just saw
Right.
that today, and it's like, oh, so sad. I actually didn't know who she was. I looked at her photo, or I was just glancing at some photos, and I was like, who is she in Harry Potter? And then I had to like Google
Narcissa
her and
Malfoy.
Harry Potter. Yeah. And then
Yeah,
now I see it. Like
I
you can
could have.
tell it's
Yeah,
her.
I could have told you that one.
Like some of them though, she's so glammed up though. It's like, wait, who is this?
Right.
But
It's amazing.
magic of makeup and hair and costumes. But so sad for them and their family, and so thoughts with them um, during this period of time.
But and moving on, White Claw is launching a high alcohol hard seltzer called Surge for 2021 in summer. So that's just so Surge contains 8% alcohol compared to the 5% in a typical White Claw, which I've never actually had a White Claw. The company says it will only be available in single 16-ounce cans priced at $2.99 in blood orange and cranberry flavors. And additionally, White Claw Hard Seltzer is also launching its flavor collection number 3 variety pack. The new mix features fan favorite mango and new flavors strawberry, pineapple, and blackberry. Does this not call back the times of, if you remember the soda surge from back in, I think the late 90s, early 2000s? You know,
Yeah,
this was like the time when Snapple and Fruitopia ruled the world, or, well, ruled cafeterias and lunchrooms across the country.
yeah. I did not. Search is so sweet for me. But
It was
this is like a
intense.
little. Yeah. So
Hi, John.
this is going to be interesting um, for White Claw. A lot of people are saying it's like the new version of Four Loco, but that's not quite true. That had a ton of alcohol actually. So this is just increasing it 3%, which is something, but it's not like crazy. But I'm sure this summer people are going to enjoy it. people are gonna have some fun with that Surge White Claw. I do like White Claws. Jonathan says howdy, hey. I like all of those seltzers, the hard seltzers.
Yeah, I've never had a White Claw, and I mean, everyone's like, "Oh, you know, you just have them with your friends." I'm like, "What are these friends you speak of?"
I'm excited about this pineapple flavor, this new one, and this is just the regular version of White Claw flavor, pineapple. I like pineapple drinks, so I think it's gonna be so refreshing. I actually had one
I'm
for
really
the
hit or miss on pineapple.
really.
I love pineapple upside down cake. I actually made it
I've
once.
never
It's
had that.
delicious.
I've never had
What?
it.
I like
So
pineapple shit.
I came here to San Diego when I was visiting, and me and Justin made a cake, but we made it the night before I left, and then I never like I get really nervous when I'm flying, and so like I can't eat anything, and so then I was never able to taste it. I'm so mad about that, but I'll have to make one. But actually, the first time I actually had the seltzer, Matt, is from that New Year's Eve party 2 years ago. Now, the New Year's Eve
Oh, the one you
before
and Justin
Corona.
texted us pictures of when you guys were out on
Yes,
that balcony.
the
Oh, that
balcony
was so
downtown in
awesome.
San Diego.
That
That
was
was the
when
first time
Justin
I
and I
ever had
actually
one.
first talked. He was like, "You and David would love it out here. Look at this beautiful view. Cody would love to have you guys out here." Translation: Get out here so we can shut Cody up.
And then, like, what is it? 45 days later, the world ended.
Hashtag pandemic. Yeah.
And then actually sooner than that because Justin got sick at the end of January. So it was
Yeah,
like
I was actually
20
I
days
was sick
later.
for 5 or 6 weeks through January, and then I injured my arm. So I was just home for almost 2 months, not feeling well in my arm. And then by the time that was finishing, some of the lockdowns had started. I went, oh, okay, yeah, it's here. I'm not doing anything. So we just didn't
Yeah,
go anywhere because we realized what was happening.
exactly.
But
I'm
speaking of
excited.
everything hitting the fan and falling down,
I'm excited though, Matt, because uh, since we are almost vaccinated fully, you and Justin are beating me like by a few days. I think I get mine on
I have to
Tuesday.
tell you, I'm a little surprised. If
Surprised
there's
about what?
anybody that I thought would
Oh,
be masquerading in full stage makeup as a helpless 98-year-old lady, it might have been Codina Rodriguez.
I have
Good
just I mean,
showing.
Gabe.
Yes.
Gabe could have done my
Yeah.
makeup and I could have put a wig on and everything. Yeah.
I'm just
I'm
all I
excited
can
though.
think is the Mrs. Doubtfire montage.
I want that rated R Mrs.
There's one idea for
Doubtfire.
TikTok.
Ah, I could. One of my friend dresses up like Mrs. Doubtfire. I'll send
On
you
my
pictures after
painting.
this. He does such a great job. It's like, oh my god. I'm excited this summer though because we are going to be vaccinated, which will feel comfortable then going to the beach. We used to go every weekend, every Saturday. We would go to the beach, and I'm excited to get back to the beach and then drink these White Claws. Although technically, you're not supposed to have alcohol on the beaches. I guess supposedly out here in California. So there is that. But I'm excited. I also make a lot of them with cocktails. So you can make quick cocktails with White Claws or any seltzers. And so that's always fun. Now I know Matt.
And if you're a really
Uh,
good friend of Cody's, you might sit on TikTok and like I did today, and watch some of Cody's videos because Cody is on TikTok. I do
yeah.
have some actual working ideas for TikTok, and I think you're going to be very happy and probably all simultaneously really annoyed with me.
I can't wait. Yeah, you
So,
can check those out.
yeah.
I'm at John Cody Rodriguez, John John Cody Rodriguez on TikTok, and I do post up my cocktail videos. Of course, a lot of them are on YouTube. Sometimes some of them are longer, so they're all on my YouTube. That's also at John Cody Rodriguez. But I made like a fun seltzer cocktail, and it was so good, so refreshing. Also, it didn't taste like you're drinking alcohol, so you have a few of those. It's going to be a fun
Well, I'm really
time.
excited because my meds have been changed, and I can choose when I will not be taking the Adderall every single day. I will only be taking it on work days. So I'm very excited. I will not be taking it on my birthday or birthday weekend. So I'm super excited. I really hope that you come up with a fun
I'll make a
matini.
birthday
Oh,
cocktail
I'm
for you,
funny.
a martini.
A
Um,
matini.
all of y'all who are here watching us, thank you, of course, for being here.
Cody totally
Do
would
y'all do y'all like White Claws? Just put it in the comments below if y'all drink White Claws or what are your favorite drinks. We'll come back to it, but I just am wondering, like, am I alone in enjoying them,
I
or do
don't
y'all
have a
enjoy
problem
them?
trying them. It doesn't really cross my mind and I'm kind of a Long Island kind of girl, so
Mm.
you know,
See, yeah, true. That'll hit you.
yeah, and I did not
uh,
realize for the longest time. So Orlando, not every Chili's in this, not every Chili's does it, but in Orlando there are 2-for-1s, and they're not necessarily the
hmm.
strongest the unless you just luck out. And there's been a few times where I'm like, two is enough, and other times I've walked out 4 or 5, and I'm like, okay, 4 or 5 is like the limit.
One thing I
But
like about
that's usually
Disney,
my drink of
though,
choice when I'm out is Long Island's or Blue Long
yeah,
Island's,
one thing I like
if
when
I
I'm in
drink, which is
Orlando,
quite rare.
and going to Disney is they will make the drinks really strong, which is great.
Where
But you're also paying for it. Do what?
Where at the like, are you talking about Epcot at the
Well, just
or
some
you
of the
mean like in the
restaurants too,
bars?
but yeah, the bars as well.
Oh,
Uh,
gotcha. Yeah, I used to like
yeah,
drinking around the world. Uh, yeah, it was really fun.
yeah.
And I mean, I drink at every location, but it was more of a social event to do. And nobody. I never went with anybody that was like tripping or falling down.
No, that's
That's
just obnoxious.
yeah. But it's more like,
Like,
oh, have one or two drinks at a couple of the different places. Like even then,
the,
I
the
was literally 48 years old in a 22-year-old's body. Even then,
I
Chris says the parents need strong drinks to deal with the kids. Now that I will totally agree with as a former employee. I needed strong drinks to deal with those parents.
I know the parents are going to enjoy it at Disneyland. Actually, you're going to be able to get alcohol now at one of the restaurants that's in Pirates of the Caribbean. So that's going to be fun. And then Javier said maybe in the summer for the White Claws. Yeah, I agree. I agree. They're a very summer drink. It needs to be kind of hot because they're kind of refreshing in an essence because it feels like you're just drinking sparkling water, flavored sparkling water. Yeah, fall and winter, let's do something different. But yeah, summer is definitely where it's at. Now I know Matt set this up for me a second ago, and I did pass on it,
Yeah, yeah,
but
you
he
did. I
did
was
set
like,
me up for the
you
next
jerk.
story. He did set me up for the next story, and that is because I saw this headline and was like, "Whoa, that's crazy!" But there is about 5,200 tons of space dust that falls on the Earth. Now it's actually a lot more. It's like 500 tons, but the rest of that gets burned up in the atmosphere. So only about 5,200 tons make it to Earth. It is the most abundant extraterrestrial material on Earth. Now, it actually exceeds the input like from meteorites that fall to Earth. They bring only about 10 tons of material to Earth, and those are obviously small meteorites. We're not like having any earth-shattering, dinosaur-killing meteorites hitting the Earth. But
Dinosaurs aren't real, Cody.
oh my
They're
gosh,
just Jesus. The Jesus just put them in the ground to make everybody question it. God, the ignorance. There is just a lot of repression, Cody, and I just don't really appreciate your lack of like respect for other views. Like I said, I'm going to
don't
continue
y'all
being
think that Matt
disrespectful
needs a
about this.
comedy show? Do we need another show for Matt?
No,
Um,
really, it's just situational because it's only tailored to you because I know
mm,
what I'm not. I don't think I'm funny. I'm funny to you because we have like 4 years of rolling history, and
yeah,
so it's more for your benefit, and
it has
then
to bounce
hopefully everybody else
off.
doesn't block me.
So this space dust, the majority of the dust actually is coming from interplanetary dust from the Jupiter family of comets. Now these cosmic comets, the dust comes from those belts around Jupiter and just beyond Neptune, and they make its way here. Now you actually the best way to find this dust, they actually do it in Antarctica. That's where they're able to find it, and this is like a picture of it. So these are obviously very, very small. So like it's just dust. So you're not going to be able to tell if it's dust from space or dirt at your house. But yeah, I thought that was quite interesting, and
I
fun
was actually really surprised
explorations.
to see the headline. This did not seem like something that you would normally uh, jump for, you know. And
Well,
I
it's
had set
space,
myself up
right?
for the next one. Yeah, it is space, and I'm super excited you picked it. So Cody does pick our topics for when we do these things. At first we did try to collaborate, but we kept picking. If there's 5 of them, 3 or 4 of them we both picked. So it just became easier because we have the exact same taste. So to just let you know, there's in a working relationship there are, as I said today about another situation, There's always lots of hills to die on in any relationship. This is not one of those you should choose to die on. If your work spouse, him right here, if he wants to do it his way and it's not hurting anything, and you're gonna do it all the same way anyway, and he's happy and wants to do it, I shut up and do what I'm told. And you know what? I live to see the next live show.
Chris says, I know where to find all the dust. It's in my house. I can dust forever and it still shows up.
Wait, well, you live on an island, and I remember those. I used to live about 10 minutes from Chris, and oh my God, no matter how much I swept, it was everywhere.
Get an air purifier.
Well, so the next story is, okay, there's a video of this, and I just need a second because I'm going to start laughing again because I did laugh. The situation could have been very serious. But
yeah, Matt, here, it's going to be below us. It's the man. Go ahead.
So I'll go ahead and explain it so you can see, so you know what you're looking at. So a bobcat attacked, I believe, a lady, and then her neighbor, this man, grabs it. So it starts when this incident begins when an unidentified man walks toward his car and tells a passing jogger, "Good morning." Moments later, a woman walks towards the car and the bobcat's yowling can be heard. If you've ever heard a bobcat, it's very distinct. You are not going to mistake it for a stray cat. And then the woman is screaming. The bobcat attacks her from behind as she screams and runs towards her husband, who peels the bobcat off her, momentarily holds it above his head, and throws the animal approximately 10 feet away. I mean, overhand throws it. And, you know, I'm pretty sure that's a big win. I mean, he reacted, and I'm not sure how much of this video picked up all of the audio, but yeah, go ahead and check out the video.
So the audio is great. Okay. I love the first part. He's talking about his car is a little dirty.
Good morning. I need to wash my car.
Everyone needs to do that. So it cut out at the end. He also said he's going to go get his gun.
Completely chaotic.
Yeah, as you saw there, I'll play it up again, but you see the bobcat coming from behind. There was,
by the way.
And they had to go get.
Yes, we're laughing about the ridiculousness of the situation because I mean, like SNL couldn't have put something better. But what's terrifying is bobcats are incredibly dangerous, and especially any rabid animal can be very dangerous. But a rabid bobcat, a healthy bobcat that wants to just defend its territory is dangerous. But this woman is in serious danger. She is very unlikely going to be able to fight off this bobcat and get its hands around its neck or peel it off of herself. Because in the meantime, if you've ever tried to give your cat a flea bath, that itself is terrifying, let alone a bobcat that is equipped to kill you.
Well, as you can see, the bobcats, if you don't know, bobcats are relatively smaller cats. And so you might think, oh, they're kind of small, they're not going to hurt me, but they can definitely do damage. So
a lot, they can kill you. If
they are in a lot of areas where they're in a lot of areas where houses are, you know, they're not like you're going to be off in a wild field. You know, they live in areas where humans are. So it is something to always be aware of your surroundings, especially if you live in areas where you do know that there are bobcats. I know like around in our area, there's coyotes. They're always in like little canyons, like literally a street away. Sometimes they'll be walking down the street. And so that's why around here, you don't really leave any dogs outside. I know sometimes people leave dogs outside. Around here, you're not really supposed to do that, even if you're really supposed to be supervising them, because if they're smaller dogs and these coyotes come out, it's going to be a no-win situation.
Predator instinct, and that dog is not going to make it. If you heard that bobcat's yowl, that is the sound you don't want to hear. And I have a story about that. I'll talk about it at the end. Because about how I went caving and discovered a cat, and I never got to see it, but I heard it, and I'll tell you the story at the end. So
so Matt, we've talked about this on we mentioned it in one of the episodes earlier this week on Wednesday that you quickly mentioned Colton Underwood.
I
and
don't. I
And,
was hesitant about doing this story.
well, I think it must be done because I think a lot of people actually haven't heard a lot of it because so basically Colton Underwood, if you don't know, he's the star of The Bachelor. He came out on Good Morning America with Robin Roberts and he said, quote, "I've ran for myself for long enough. I've hated myself for a long time and I'm gay." And I came to terms with that earlier this year and I've been processing it. And the next step in all of this sort of was letting people know. Now, so that's what a lot of people have heard about, and they also heard about this new show he's doing. They don't know a lot about some of the other stuff in his life, but I did want to play a clip. This is from The Bachelor. This is Billy Eichner talking to Colton Underwood on the show as part of the show, and well, it's an interesting conversation.
Oh god.
Look for? No, the first thing I do, I'm gay. I know that's a shock, Colton. And that I think you should look into. Maybe you're the first gay bachelor and we don't even know. No. Put that in your promo. See you later.
Did you see that clip? That was on the show.
Well, one, I want to know how people didn't know. I mean, he activates the game immediately. But
he was when the show was airing, he was known as the Virgin Bachelor, and so that was like a big whole thing. He actually, I didn't know this though. He had a memoir that he released last year in March, where he said the first time his time on The Bachelor actually helped him realize he, quote, wasn't gay. He said he questioned his sexuality in his early 20s, the result of being bullied growing up. The bullies said he was gay, and he said he believed it. Well, you know what happened? Money happened. Right. And that money is that he's going to be doing a show with Gus Kenworthy. Gus Kenworthy is going to be his gay guide, new show on Netflix. They're already filming it. They're currently filming it. Now, here's the deal. So people probably know about him coming out. They know about this show. The thing I think that's getting missed in all of this is that he did end up choosing Cassie Randolph, who was a contestant on The Bachelor. They never got engaged, but they did have a messy breakup. And in August of last year, 3 months after the breakup, so not very long ago, just in August, 3 months after the breakup, Cassie was granted a restraining order against Colton. Now, Cassie alleged that Colton sent her unsettling text messages, showed up at her house and her parents' house without invitation, and put a tracking device on her car. Okay, that's just creepy behavior and stalker behavior and so much behavior going on.
And that's not exclusively hetero behavior. Gays do that to each other too. We are just as crazy. And it turns out, what do you know? And go ahead. Sorry, I have feelings about this jerk. Like, obviously, I was super disrespectful about it the other day.
The thing is, so he came out, which is great. So no one is hating on that. I think it is something that people will see. And it could help people who may be fans of The Bachelor, young people who might watch that show, may feel for some reason okay about coming out because they see him. That's great. No one's saying anything against that. The problem is all of this is done for money and publicity. And ultimately, him coming out is going to get him a lot of money because of this show. But he never should have been given the show. There's multiple reasons. But one of the reasons is he's literally a stalker. He's abusive, manipulative, according to some of these reports, dangerous behavior, obviously, and stalking this woman, Cassie. Like, no one should be rewarded with a show after they just did that. It's not like he did it and we forgive him and everything. This happened in August, like very recent behavior that had been going on. And then I think, Matt, you were kind of alluding to the fact earlier this week. So that's one issue. So never should have got a show because of that. But another reason is it's like, Gus Kenworthy joining this, but two white gays trying to represent the community and like.
Right. That's not okay. Aside from all the other problematic things, that event in itself, I just see it as problematic. It's not necessary. Like, I'm not saying it's coming out is not easy. It's not fun. It's terrifying, and it's just it's an event on its own. But having it backed by a production company and given Gus Kenworthy, and if you don't know who Gus Kenworthy is, you might recognize him from American Horror Story. He was in 1984. He was Chet, but also he's Olympian. And like, I also have a huge problem because now I did, so being my own kind of stalker, because when you're an investigator, it's what you do. I went through because I see a lot of things about the people he follows and things he tweets. Now, there's reasons the Bachelor contestants cannot talk about politics. Fine.
And you're speaking of
go through their
Colton
followers.
Underwood, correct?
Yeah, Colton the Bachelor here. So I went through his follows myself. Now, he does actually follow Cassie Randolph. And again, I don't want to comment on like the actual personal relationships. I'm saying I believe her, but he does still follow her. And I understand that the suit was dropped, but it still happened. And other problematic racist behavior also existing. Can you believe it? What a shock. But also, I went through his follows, and lo and behold, what do we find? Meghan McCain, Dan Crenshaw, and some other gems. And I'm like, you know, and Meghan McCain, here, my problem with her is a long-standing, and I rant on this. This is a hill. This is one of the hills I'm going to die on, and Cody can go ahead and like catch up on his reading. Her stance that she thinks that her voice is important or more important than others because she's a lone conservative and that she might be the only conservative voice people hear. Yeah. In this world, you're the the blonde white woman with awful hair is the only conservative white lady any of us have ever heard. Look, I attended church in South Florida. I have seen lots of racist white people with really bad haircuts. Okay. So come on now. Like, that bothers me. But I'm not saying Colton Underwood is going to turn out like this because people do change. You know, if you're raised one way, you may not know there's another way. So what his behaviors and feelings are, what we don't need is another Aaron Schock. You know, going out and doing more damage to our community while out banging every guy on Fire Island and like, you know, enjoying the fun parts, you know, basically being every stereotype that we fight against. We're like a percentage of the population. We are a minority and fraction of the population. Even as gay white boys, we are a fraction of the overall, you know, population. But we still have a pretty big voice and a pretty big platform. So what did you do, Mr. Aaron Schock? Votes against us, and then he spotted out dancing on a pole. And Mr. Underwood, here you are. Please don't be a dick. And also, maybe you should answer for some of the stalking things. And I don't think anybody should let him forget it until he answers for it, because that is important. We do not let abusers get away. If you ever, like when people share their stories or finally name their abusers on Twitter, even our own mutuals have seen this, you'll find if you read the thread, your own mutuals, your own friends, and maybe you know them in real life, they'll post their stories of what happened to them, myself included. And it's chilling. You know, I know my experience. I know it happened. And that means it's happened to other people. And to have somebody who is a celebrity have that platform and be given a bigger platform along with the gay guide, Gus Kenworthy. Hi, you've been out for like, what, 5 minutes? You know, who the hell are you? Like, what gay experience do you have that could help? How do you feel that's going to help and speak to more people than people with strong jawlines? I'm not saying their sexuality and coming out isn't important, because it's an event. Even when it's accepted by most people, it's still, you know, words really don't explain it.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to remember to think about what you're doing before you go out there saying how your experience and having this gay guide. I mean, I just think it's turning our experience into a reality situation, and let alone basically it's the stereotype identical twin where if they don't have some kind of romantic relationship or something happened that comes out later, you know, it's like, oh God,
yeah,
this doesn't, this doesn't need to happen. If you want to make a difference, go explore the community and learn from everybody. What you're doing is not going to help. It's for you
Exactly.
and a paycheck, and because you're trying to you may not be, but it sure looks like he's trying to outrun a lot of accusations and just kind of
Yeah.
bury it. And he's
I
well on
mean,
his way to being a Florida politician. Matt Gaetz.
yeah. I think, yeah, exactly. Everything you said is correct. And I mean, ultimately, when you also look at it, like
I just have feelings.
him getting a show, when there's other gay people who are extremely talented, who aren't given the effort or the opportunity to be in this show or that show, but he comes out and he gets a show right away. It's just ridiculous. I understand the reasoning behind it. He does have some celebrity to him, and so that's just what happens in the world of Hollywood. But I think we have spoken on that. Jonathan commented that, as I said earlier this week, it's literally the gay male version of I Am Kate. Another thing that Jonathan was talking about that I saw this week, Lil Nas X. You know that his song is not going to be
music video, and
his song is not going to be pulled from the streaming platform. Now, he did say that his Montero song was going to be pulled from streaming platforms. Billboard confirmed with Lil Nas X that it wouldn't be removed from streaming services. He did share multiple posts on Tuesday telling people that they needed to stream the song on several platforms. He urged them to download and stream it as much as possible because it was soon going to become unavailable. Even his record label, Columbia Records, backed him up, saying it's unfortunate and out of our control, but we are doing everything possible to keep the song up on streaming services. Not sure what happened. The song didn't get removed. Must have just been a publicity stunt.
Well, it could have been, or there was enough public pressure. People say that Twitter activism is nothing. It is amazing. So people might just see, what does 1,000 retweets do? What people don't see is all the other people that may have taken the time to write a letter to a senator, a lawmaker, a council member, told their family. So maybe 20 people sent a letter to the same lawmaker, or a local, something happened somewhere. And just because you don't see it happen doesn't mean nothing's going on behind the scenes. So, I know it can feel exhausting to champion causes. And for a lot of us, activism began in 2016. Great, we're here now, but at the same time, please remember that it's been going on way longer than 2016. Hate crimes and racism and sexism and misogyny, it's been there. It's been there all through history. And seeing it, we've seen it leveled at several. We usually see it leveled at artists, usually women, people of color, Black women, Black men. We saw what happened with Lizzo. Everybody went for her weight. We see what's happening with Lil Nas X. He's a gay Black man, and he's a beautiful gay Black man. I mean, and then he was raised on Twitter. He is what, like 22? Mm-hmm. I see these people make nasty comments, and he's just got the time.
Jonathan commenting on this hashtag stunt queen. Jonathan, I'm going to agree with you. He's quick. If you do look at his stuff, he's very stunt worthy. Hey, it's bringing him money, but I do agree there's a point when it becomes a little much. It's like, okay. We know. His song is like number one. It's like some of the most watched and viewed. I think that's completely what it was. I think him and his record label came up and like, let's pretend it's going away so more people will watch it and download it again.
What I think is interesting is, but nobody came out and contested it. That would be usually the first thing one of the streaming services would have been like, oh, absolutely not. Why would we ever do that? If it did, it didn't make news. But it's just interesting because you do see that. So do you remember the Dixie Chicks controversy from years and years and years ago?
Yeah.
So you would have lived in Texas then. So I'm sure maybe even your news station covered it. So I remember my parents throwing out all their music. And I just remember laughing because I'm like, but you already bought it and mom likes the song. So what's the problem? And then they took so much heat. But we have to remember that artists comment everything. their art, their paintwork, their visuals, music, lyrics. It's either a commentary on their life and experience, what the songwriter was thinking or what they came up with. When it's about a political situation, I mean, art mirrors. I mean,
for
the
sure.
inspiration comes from somewhere. I mean, like,
Yeah, I mean, like as you said, like especially in the past, there is the potential, like with the Dixie Chicks, where basically they had to go away for a bit before they were able to come back. They received so much hate. I feel like in this case, though, I'm going to go that it's complete stunt queen, and that he is. I mean, good for him, I guess. He's making money. What are you going to do?
All I can think was Birds of Prey, when the one girl like tries to steal from who'd she try to steal from? I think Black Canary, and she turns out, she's like, "One day you're gonna pick the wrong pocket." And she goes, "You think you're the only one that makes money off stupid rich white people?" And I just started laughing. Because growing up in Florida, like you see, I'm like, crap, is this my future? Like, oh crap, like I can't stay here.
You know,
but
I will say that if he keeps doing this kind of stuff, it's going to turn people off.
Right.
Because I believe, Jonathan, you said you've muted him. You've muted him for like 30 days now because you're just like, no more stunt queen. But moving to our next topic, because we were talking about Harry Potter earlier, and Matt, you've not seen this video yet. And I'm going to pull it up so we can watch Matt's reaction in real time.
Oh, God.
But there's a man on TikTok who's been using the app Cameo. Now, if you don't know what Cameo is where anybody can pay a celebrity for yourself or a friend. Sometimes I think it's fun to do it for a friend. And there's certain celebrities who are on this Cameo app, and they will record a message for your friend saying, "Happy birthday, so-and-so," like I could do one for Matt. Anyway, he has gone on Cameo, and every actor who happens to be on Cameo. Now, they're probably not all on there, but the ones who are on Cameo, he has gotten them to make videos for him, and he's asked them to roast him. And he asked the woman who played Professor Sprout to roast him. And well, I'll let you watch the video because this is what happened.
So I really haven't seen this. So I saw the headline here in our scripts. So, okay, let's do it.
Here you go.
Hi guys,
You're so excited.
Harry Potter cast to roast me, and I think this might be the best one yet. I thought Professor Sprout would be lovely. I'd get a really nice, gentle roasting, but she was brutal. Check it out.
Hello, Brett. Well, I got your silly message about being a Harry Potter fan. Why are you a Harry Potter fan? Are you grown up? I just can't understand why people go on liking Harry Potter when they've left school and their balls have dropped. Maybe your balls haven't dropped. That's always a concern. And your name is Brett Ball. Well, that's a bit unfortunate. Being a lesbian, as I am, I'm very unlikely to get to know any of your balls. And I must say I'm relieved to know that. But I'm sure that your life will be pleasant, despite the fact that you're of limited intelligence and possibly stunted sexuality.
I need to retire. I can't cope with this.
I guess it speaks for itself, right? I thought it was so good. So funny.
How excited were you to show me this?
I was so excited. I saw it last night.
Really hope
something I always want to send Matt, like when I find it, but now I'm starting to hold them off, because either playing them now or on Sunday's show. But I thought that was so funny. And you wouldn't expect it from her, like, because that's not really what her character was.
I did not.
But
I'm gonna have to use the line, "Your stunted sexuality" on somebody. Where will I ever find someone?
Jonathan says the library is closed. I love it. So
that's funny.
Yeah. What am I loving this week? Well, I thought this was pretty good. So if you haven't heard, I know this is more Disney news, but they have announced now. If you don't know, Disney has this thing like 4 keys, and they do this with cast members, and their safety, courtesy, show, and efficiency. They've added a 5th one now, and it is inclusion. And so they want to be more inclusive, obviously. And this goes to different things though, because they have been criticized in the past for their attractions lacking diversity or being racist. Pirates of the Caribbean, Splash Mountain. They've even updated some of their old. Yeah, they're going to. So,
oh my god,
they are going to update some of their older films. They're in the process of updating some of the rides to make them more inclusive. They've done a lot of this actually during coronavirus pandemic. So they're going to be updating Jungle Cruise, which can be a little bit racist at times. Splash Mountain, like we said, because it's based on the film Song of the South.
I oh,
Just to clarify, Matt is not laughing at racism.
I'm not laughing at the racism. It's just one of those things. Like, I just imagine all these Disney executives sitting around a board, around a big conference table and reviewing. Oh dear, I think we did a racism. We maybe should correct this. Anyone? Like.
Yeah. So, like Splash Mountain, it's based upon the movie Song of the South, which is a very racist film that you really can't get anymore. It's gone basically. If you find a copy, that's probably the only copy you'll ever see. But I'm loving this because they are doing all this.
We're gonna talk.
They are making efforts. Obviously, they should be, but they are actually showing they're spending money to do this, update things here and there. But I think one of the biggest things, and the thing that I love the most, because I do have a lot of friends who work at Disney and continue to work at Disney, but they are now changing dress codes. They're going to be more gender inclusive dress code for everybody. So that means men can have nail polish, men can wear earrings, and the big one, everybody can wear tattoos. They can show their tattoos. In the past, you haven't been able to show tattoos. So you can show your tattoos, wear your earrings. I already saw some people on Twitter and TikTok talking about this. Like this one guy, he went in, he had his nail polish on, and all of his cast members loved it. And he said a few guests were looking, but there were a few guests complimented him. So I think this is great because this is the world we live in. We shouldn't be like telling people that they can't be themselves, Like,
I think it's interesting when I always see the thing about like, I don't like tattoos. Do you young people? I'm like, okay, hold on. You do know that tattoos are part of many cultures around the world and go back thousands of years, like thousands of years, before your boring old ass, to existence because your parents had, a sad one night stand in the back of a Chevy Nova, so maybe stop judging.
Yeah. So this is like a little video they made that kind of just announces the whole thing. The thing to watch in this that I'm sure a lot of conservatives hate, and this is why I'm playing it, because I think it's interesting. And the conservatives are going to be going and say, oh, that guy is wearing nail polish. Ugh. He's wearing earrings. Ugh. And but in this promo video they put together, they champion and show off pride parades a lot. They show pride parades off a lot, and they also show off Black Lives Matter protests, which I thought was pretty racy for them to do that. Like the Black Lives Matter protests. I could understand the pride parade, but wow, they're going for it. But here's the little clip.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
In December 2019, a team of cast members joined together in a series of ideation sessions that span time zones and teams. Because to create a world where everyone belongs, where each person is treated with respect, we must work together to reimagine tomorrow. We're building a Disney with more diverse stories and experiences. A Disney with more accessible products and authentic voices. A Disney where our cultures unite us, not divide us, and where each cast member is empowered to speak up, team up, take action, and ensure equality in every way.
So there you go. That's what I'm loving this week. Ken said maybe the conservatives will stay away and make Disney more gay. I know. First of all, Disney is pretty gay. Also, performers, like, I always find it funny, like in any theme park, like a lot of the performers are gay, like visibly you can tell they're gay. And like, it's just like funny that like, it's such a thing. And people are taking their kids there, but then they're like, oh, gay, no. But you go to the shows with the only reason the show can exist probably is because there's gays.
Yeah. So
But
I'm sorry. Between that and I'm also stuck on Professor Sprout telling somebody and just ending somebody else's career.
I'm going to have her roast you. I'm going to find out how much that costs.
Cody, I have some good news for you on that front. So a lot of you guys don't know. So, I grew up in Fort Myers, Florida, right? So my best friend growing up from my high school days, I'm about 9 months older than him. And I'm actually the godfather to his children. He has since married and moved to Canada. And he's very happy there. And we finally got to catch up today because when I deleted my Facebook 4 years ago, three years ago, I didn't realize that I cut off our only source of communication because I was so used to talking to him in so many different venues. But when he had gone over permanently, and I didn't realize I didn't have any contact information for him, and the only email address, the backup email I always had for him, no longer worked. So why didn't I go on Facebook? Because my family's insane. But guess what? I found him today. I found him because I found his podcast. And we got to talk. And he said he would love to... I just got a text message. A very unexpected text message. I'm on my laptop and a message that was totally inappropriate just popped up from somebody who's probably watching and just terrorizing me, and it was very funny. Good job. But so my best friend, who is a straight guy, it's probably interesting to think about, but I'm a car gay, but you guys probably know that. And he's the person that we did everything together. Like, we went through every milestone together. When I went to college a year later, he was supposed to go to a different college. He toured a couple and ended up coming to Orlando, and we were roommates for a year and a half. And we continued our lives we've always been there for each other. And I couldn't make his wedding due to a combination of stress and anxiety, and I just literally couldn't afford it because we just closed on the house, and yeah, it was bad. But in talking, he has his own podcast about cars because, he's totally a straight guy. It's the best thing ever. But when your best friend is a 6'2" country boy, you get looks places. And I just used to, unfortunately, just ruin his life. And I didn't mean to, much in the way that I ruined David's. It was sort of like things like, I used to have this shirt from American Eagle when I was in college that said, I can be your private dancer. And I don't know how, but we would be out for the day. And he was like, did you have to wear that shirt today? So everywhere we went, he would be mistaken for my boyfriend. And it really put him through hell. But he had said, hold on, let me get the text message right because I can't text him. We only have DMs. Hold on. He's like, but if you guys ever want me to come on and discuss how you came out to me, that would be absolutely hilarious. I'm like, I'm going to get roasted from here to the next millennium, but I will allow it because I love this man.
Yeah.
To the moon and back. He is my brother. We did everything together. We grew up together. He was there when I came out. I was terrified to tell him. He was actually the only people I was absolutely terrified to tell him, but he didn't care. But when I learned about the gay community and as I learned things, unfortunately, he was the one I told everything I learned to. So what I learned was I came home one day, I was like, oh my God, Clint, I learned what a rim job was. He's like, what's that? And I started telling him, he's like, I did not need to know that. I'm like, but I'm telling you anyway. So unfortunately, this is where we were. But he has been there. He actually knows my family personally. We went to high school together, college together. We definitely got married and divorced. We both since married and divorced and remarried. So, but his two kids now, which I can't even believe it, this coming fall we'll have known each other for 20 years because we lived about 10 minutes from each other in high school. We lived down the street from each other. So I met him when he was a freshman and I was a sophomore, and only 6 or 8 of us from the entire area we lived in went to our high school. So when they provided a bus, it circled around and picked all of us up. So the 6 or 7 of us were close because we had a 2-hour bus ride every day. But Clint and I were always close, and And so when I came out, it wasn't a big deal. I mean, I think he knew before I did. He was like, yeah, I kind of, yeah. I'm like, oh, well, all right, here we are. But
No shock.
it sounds like we are going to have a special guest. And I told him, I was like, Cody would love this. And I'm pretty sure even David might jump in and listen, because not only can he tell you what it was like for me coming out to him, there was also the whole experience of just, I've told you guys before, you know, when young gays are being completely insane, I'm like, girl, you're fine. You're going to get through it. You're okay. He was there for that phase. He was my roommate. You know, he was the one that when my health first started taking nosedives and I didn't know what was wrong with me, he was the one that experienced all of it. He didn't know what to do. So he's witnessed every major event in my life, including he remembers what I looked like pre-nose job. He knew what I looked like when I had all my hair too. I mean, this goes back.
Well,
Yeah,
that's exciting.
So this is what has me talking. And so Cody didn't know this. This literally happened today, and I just didn't have a chance to tell you. And he had texted this to me while we were here. And it's funny because I was talking about him this week to David. I talk about him all the time. And because my godkids are now like 4 and 7, they're like real. And I've seen pictures of them, and I'm like, oh my God, remember the baby pictures? I have pictures of me and the oldest when they came to visit me in Pennsylvania. Yeah. And she was like a very tiny child, like an infant / not even quite a toddler. And I'm carrying her around, and we're being cute and doing cute uncle stuff. And I'm like,
wow, that's so cool.
You know, this is something. Yeah. So my best friend growing up, most of my life, has been a straight guy, and he's always had this perspective on me that his reality checks have really hurt my feelings a few times, but he's also super protective, and he did not like some of the guys I dated, and he would tell me, oh my God, he would straight up tell me, I don't like him. He's not nice.
Well, this sounds like it's about him. This sounds like it's going to be fun to talk to him about all your deepest, darkest secrets.
Oh God, I just
come into a podcast episode near you.
I just know I'm going to get roasted. So yeah, here it comes. It's going to happen.
I did look up the actress and how much it would cost to do a cameo roast of you. I'm going to have to pass on that, Matt. She charges $170 a video. So that guy paid $170.
Well, I believe, you know, Lil Churro, our Bobby, who's a frequent friend of our podcast and ours, I believe he had a cameo done for his wife from one of her favorite actors from one of her favorite shows. And I got to say, it was really cool. They did a personalized message, and it was really cool. And I thought it was neat. And I thought that was a sweet gift idea.
It's a fun one.
You would really have
maybe, yeah, you know, right?
Roast. Oh God.
Yeah, they used to be cheaper. They used to be cheaper when Cameo first came out, and it wasn't as big of stars. I did one for Gabe. I can't think of her name right now, but the actress who played in Hairspray, the newest Hairspray, the main character, Nikki Blonsky. I had her do one for Gabe for opening night when he had an opening night show. But she charged like $20 or something. Now I think she charges a lot too. But you can, of course, have new episodes and listen to us each week. 2 episodes a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Of course, we have a Sunday live coming up at 8:45 Pacific. And of course, this show every Friday at 5 o'clock Pacific. So lots of opportunities for you to listen or watch us, whichever one you want to do. We're continuing to tweak things. So this last episode, we introduced like news headlines. So we're trying to get as much and more content in there that is informative, but also keeps your attention. And so you're learning quick. So that's fun. And we're working on Matt's new show that's going to be releasing soon on Mondays. So that's going to be fun. So we have a lot of stuff in the works. Lots of opportunities
and it's
for you to
happening
listen.
Because I'm feeling so much better. So yeah, please join us. We did a test run of what we're going to, so if you haven't heard, we are going to be talking about the Royals, and not in a, it's not going to be in a gossipy tone. I mean, we're going to share known facts, but it's not going to be really about speculation. It's going to be more of, you know, like kind of a fun history lesson. And I I might have. Should I get a bottle of wine for this? For each one?
I don't know. That could be fun. That could be interesting.
I think
We'll also
have
give
to let
little
me know.
teasers for y'all so you'll
Well,
know
if you
what's
really
coming
wanted a
up
little
next.
teaser, while we were trying to do this yesterday, we had a massive failure and I lost it in giggles. Well, there was the one right at the beginning. Cody was starting to, and I snorted and I was done. And then I accidentally made a YouTube comment.
You know, what's funny? I was telling Matt.
I couldn't
so
stop laughing.
we recorded so much content yesterday. Now I say that it seemed like I think we recorded like 2 hours worth of stuff, but what y'all got to hear and see, we took the 2 hours and turned it into 26 minutes.
Cody took the 2 hours and turned it into 26 minutes. That's the lesson there.
But so again, thank y'all all for joining us. Of course, if you want, share this with your friends on any of the social accounts that you want. We like growing this community. We're getting more and more people, so it's fun to see new people join us. And so the way we do that is for y'all to help us spread it out to y'all's friends. And I guess that's all for me for this episode or this show. We hope you'll join us on Sunday.
Yeah, if you want, follow me. If you don't already, you can follow me at I'm Poetic AF on Twitter. I know we keep talking about my TikTok, but I promise I've just now started feeling better, so it's just going to take me a little bit to kind of catch up. I've been working on catching up. You might notice the background is different, and my office is a disaster, and my ring light worked this morning, and it doesn't work now, so I don't know what happened.
Matt has more sets than me now. Like he's having multiple sets. I wish it was cheap to send my lights because I have old lights that I'm getting rid of, but I think it probably costs the same amount of money to just buy them.
You know what? Maybe I need to road trip there at least once, and that way I have my car there because I have the SUV, and then you put the lights in there. So I think I need one time I should drive out there so I have a car, and then we can just exchange that way. That could be fun. I mean, yeah. Or do you think it's cheaper to just replace them?
Probably just replace them. That way you can get LED ones like I have.
I also don't really want to drive in California. If I don't want to drive.
It's a long drive. It's a long drive. It's not. It's yeah, no. You can follow me, of course, on TikTok and YouTube at John Cody Rodriguez. I'm gonna start trying to do more TikToks, but I do my normal cocktails and urban farming facts. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Cody Rodriguez. But I guess we will leave it at that, and we hope all of you have a great rest of your Friday evening and a great weekend, and we will see you on Sunday. Bye, everybody.
Yep. Soon. Bye.